Tonight, we are going up against Satan's gate. I'm a little concerned, man, about your salvation and stuff. How come you have not been baptized?
Because I never got around to it, okay? I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
Welcome to Hispanerds.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hispanerds. This is Alex.
And this is Kenji.
It's been a long time.
So long. So long.
Holy smokes.
Man. Where to begin?
You always ask the same question. What are we going to talk about? What could we talk about?
No. I mean, I asked you that question a while back ago, and I already knew what we were going to talk about, but
Well,
I'm always going to ask that question. What the heck are we going to talk about?
yeah, it's true. Well, first of all, for everybody who has forgotten, for all the listeners that we've lost, for everybody that's coming back, we're a podcast that traditionally we talk about nerd, geek stuff, things that we're excited about, things that we've seen, shows that we're currently watching. We keep it pretty light. I mean, I'm gonna jump right in real quick and just say
Gloves are out.
the reason that we've been gone for so long is my fault, and
It's not your fault, man.
I mean it. Some bastard in Vegas gave me COVID, so it's their fault. But basically, near the end of the summer,
Technically, it's the lab's fault.
well, let's not get kicked out of it. So I haven't figured out what to title this episode yet. Maybe COVID, how I survived, or me and COVID, or I don't know. It's gonna be something.
COVID hot potato.
COVID hot potato. Yeah, we did hand it off. So basically, on our last adventure a few months ago, before we went on hiatus, Kenny and I we had a couple different little trips set up. I was on my way to Iowa to drop off my daughter at college, which she is at now, and we're really excited to see her for the holidays because she's gonna be flying back.
Cool.
So the plan was that we were probably gonna be off maybe for 2 weeks, because we really hadn't banked any in advance. So I was gonna be gone for a week. Then by the time that I came back, we actually did our final podcast when I got back, which we typically record them on a Thursday, and then I go ahead and put out the Friday one, like the next day I get it ready, and just to peek behind the curtain. So I came over to Kenny's.
It's funny, see, like you come in and, hey man, just to let you know, I'm a little sick.
Yeah, I told Kenny, I'm like, I'm feeling like a little down, but
And I'm just like, yeah, come, Carol.
yeah,
Come on in.
yeah. Kenny's like, whatever, and surprisingly, we're almost like 6 feet apart, too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the where we sit on Kenny's couch, where I sit and where he sits, and how the setup is here. So I come over to Kenny's on that Thursday, which I think was the 28th of August. It was just a few days before my birthday, and
Was it the 28th?
yeah, it was the 28th of August, which was a Thursday. So I come over, we do the podcast, we say goodbye to each other. I actually didn't start feeling bad until I started driving. So I'm driving and I'm like, whoa, I don't feel good at all. Like it went from like, I feel kind of, I'm a little sick,
Right.
to like, ooh, I don't feel good. So I call my wife, and by the way, guys, I gave Kenny COVID, like 100%. So I call my wife and I tell her how I'm feeling, and she's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna clear everybody out, and you go to the room immediately and just isolate. And I said,
Yeah.
okay. So I get home, I do that, and that weekend we had a wedding that we were gonna go to because some friends were getting married. And the next day, I felt even worse. That like Friday morning, I felt even worse. Saturday morning, my wife says, "Hey, maybe go take a rapid test," which we ended up paying for, just because we want to make sure we didn't bring anything with us to the wedding. and I was hoping I just had like some kind of like cold or or
Yeah.
even the flu or something. Nah, I go take the test. Immediately it comes back because it's a rapid test. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you have it. So I'm like, so I call my wife, let her know the results. Everybody's bummed out because that means pretty much everybody in the house has it, and everybody in the house did get it. Kenny ended up getting it, and our experiences, Kenny's experience was completely different than mine. I don't know if you want to go first. And
Yeah, because mine's just kind of like brief.
yeah.
So what happens is, that same day that you came by and we did the podcast, I still went and didn't hang out with her, but I had lunch with Amber.
Super spreader.
Because I had no idea, right? And then from there I went to my cousin's to go work out. So I'm working out over there, lifting weights, and now it's in the evening. I take off my shirt, so I wasn't sure, like, because after I got home, I started feeling a little like sniffly, and I wasn't sure because I had taken off my shirt and I was out in the cold.
And by the way, guys, I let Kenny know that I had.
I was getting to that.
Okay.
I was getting to that. So I'm not thinking, nothing of it. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I gotta start juicing because I'm feeling something. And then you call me Saturday morning, and I'm like, hey, man, by the way, like, I tested positive. And I'm like, okay. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's cool. Whatever. I was like, whatever about it, right? And so, but then...
Antibodies.
right. So then, when I hanged up with you, that was contemplating in my head, and I was thinking, now, am I getting sniffles because of him or because I was without a shirt outside after I had working out?
And guys, when we do this podcast, like Kenny and I are very European, so we always kiss in the mouth before I leave.
That's gross. How am I gonna get that image out of my head now?
Sorry, go ahead.
Freaking dork. So I'm contemplating. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start juicing. So I went quickly to the grocery store and I bought some ginger because I didn't really have anything in my fridge. And
Super spreader.
so I started, juicing some stuff, and I drank it. I drank like a shot of ginger, I believe. And then that Saturday night, that's when I started feeling something like crazy. I started getting like a fever. I started like getting headaches like crazy. Like I'm like,
Pounding.
and then I got really hot. I didn't have a thermometer, but I was getting so hot where that night, like, I couldn't go to sleep because I was getting nervous. I'm like, if I go to sleep, something can happen. I'm not sure. This is all good to my head.
Stuff playing in your head.
So I will get up. I have like 4 ice packs in my freezer. So I was entertaining them,
Exchanging them out.
Exactly. So every like 2 hours or hour, I didn't even I slept maybe an hour or here or so, but I was always trying to stay cool because I was getting too hot. And so that morning, when I think I ended up falling asleep like around 5 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning, and I woke up like around 8 o'clock, and I remember waking up and I'm feeling a lot better. I'm like, oh, okay, I feel good, and and I.
Dun, dun,
This is when I called my mom and I told her the situation, and she's freaking out a little bit. She's like, well, don't go out. We're going to go buy you some food when I get out of work and blah, blah, this. And I'm like, all right, cool. So, I ended up going because I felt disgusted from sweating a lot. So I'm like, I'm going to take a shower, but I don't want to take a hot shower, but I didn't want to jump into the cold. So I put it, warm, and then I was going to cool it down. But when that steam started hitting me, I started getting dizzy, and I'm like, oh shoot. So I got out, running butt naked. I just threw myself on the
And why? Because he was about to pass out.
Exactly. So I didn't pass out, but I just like lay down. I was just trying to, get myself together. And I'm like, this is crazy. And so then I was talking to my dad, and they were just telling me start eating. Luckily, I still had hunger. I didn't lose my hunger.
Right,
so.
right. And you didn't lose your taste.
No, I didn't lose my taste at all either. So I was eating. It was just the headache and the fever. So I kept on trying to sweat it out more. So I was covering myself a lot, and I was just sweating. But that night was the worst night. It literally felt like when I had gotten flu like years ago. Like I had gotten a flu, and it felt almost very similar to that.
And for you, no stomach stuff, like you didn't want to throw up or nothing like that.
No,
Right?
nothing like
Yeah.
that. Like I
Yeah,
didn't get. I didn't
have
even
been
get any
experiencing different
mucus.
things.
Like
Yeah.
you know how you get
Yeah.
like a runny nose. None of that.
That's one of the things that I was grateful for is I didn't get any wet cough. My cough stayed dry the whole time through. So
Yeah.
I was very grateful for that.
So within that, like the second day, I kept on getting better. The third day, better, and I was supposed to go to Zion with my family, and I had to switch it to Big Bear.
Kenny is the Joe Rogan of our podcast.
But I didn't use ivermectin, man.
You didn't have to.
I know.
You're better than Joe.
I was just juicing like crazy, man. You don't know how much I was juicing, and
You hear that, CNN? You could juice it out.
yeah, juice it out, man, juice it out. And so yeah, by the 6th day, I felt like I was like at 90%. And once I got to Big Bear and I started getting that fresh air, and I was sleeping more over there too. Like at night, I was getting my 8 hours of sleep. By the time we came back, I was like, oh, I'm good. And I was kind of like nervous because I was gonna start work the following week, and I'm just like, I need to be good before I start.
I was supposed to start work
Yeah.
the following week along with Kenny and the rest of the sketch artist team, but my story is a little different.
Yeah, way different. But something that I realized is even though I felt good, I felt like I still had something like in my chest, like some sort of like maybe mucus that like I'll get a cough here and there, and I was sleeping. I feel something like far away. I could feel that something, and I know that's when I'm like I gotta order it because I hadn't ordered CMOS in such a long time, and I know that helps to remove mucus. Man, I bought the gummies and that, and once I started taking it, man, mucus just started coming out. I would like I woke up the next morning. I'm like, oh snaps, this came out of nowhere.
Gross.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I'm good, man. And I told you like thank you.
So
You gave me the antibodies, man.
I did. So I mean, altogether, you would say probably like 5 days.
You know,
maybe?
Joe Rogan's kind of like onto something. You know what he says? Like, hey, man, go to go to
Sanjay Gupta, go get it.
Yeah, go
go get it, son.
yeah.
But your whole thing was like 5 days. I think? Or
Yeah,
like 4
but
days?
just one bad day,
Yeah, one bad day.
one bad night actually.
So that was Kenny's experience. My experience ended up being quite different.
Yeah, you got me nervous, man.
My whole family got it, and everybody shook it off in different ways. The babies shook it off pretty fast. My 14-year-old, it was like nothing's getting through her immune system. It was
She's like,
crazy.
"What?"
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I feel like I have a cold, but like everybody had it. Everybody got tested, and we knew everybody had it. I actually what you're describing how the next day you had like the pounding headaches and all that stuff, that actually didn't happen to me until I think Sunday or Monday. Like I went to go and I knew that it hadn't hit me really hard yet because I drove myself to get the test to go get the rapid test.
Yeah.
So I knew that I was still capable of driving. By the time that I got the headaches, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't drive. I couldn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was-
You're yeah.
It was nuts.
That's how I felt. And like so, sorry to interrupt, but
No, it's all
that
good.
was one of the hardest things for me because I live with myself, and to be able to take care of my own self.
You gotta
that-
text me next time,
That
fool.
what you were freaking sick.
I would have sent my family over here. I would have sent people over. Like like that's one thing we got to do for each other is just if you ever need anybody, just text me. My
Yeah,
wife will
appreciate-
come over.
yeah.
People will come. Like
Yeah.
not even a problem.
Yeah, I mean, once my family was aware of it, they were also
Right.
like on it. But that night, man, I was just like, it's in the middle of the night. I don't want to interrupt them.
No, you got to interrupt. But one thing that I found out that's actually a good tip for anybody that listens to this podcast that I found out from when I was in the hospital, one of the fastest ways to cool yourself down is to put ice packs underneath your armpits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't know that until I got in the hospital. So I was kind of like you, where I had like ice like down my body, like on my head, on my chest, like and stuff. But when I was admitted into the hospital, they gave me 2 giant ice packs. And I just had them underneath, and that
They must have gotten that like from Batman Begins. Because remember when these guys like you warm up, you do this, and now it's the opposite. You gotta ice it up.
100%. But yeah, I think by Sunday or Monday I was in a pretty bad spot. I had the pounding headaches. I got the cough, and I was sweating real bad. I was sweating through my clothes. I had like 2 weeks of that, of on and off like that, where it was real bad, and then everything shifted to like the headaches went away. Oh, and I was having a hard time eating, so I started juicing everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't lose my sense of taste or my sense of smell. Instead, everything smelled and tasted disgusting. Like, and the best way to explain it to people.
So like your taste buds kind of like changed then a little bit
In a way that was like, yeah, that I hope never to experience again. Because I walked outside into my backyard, and normally I'm desensitized to the smells back there, but I have an orange tree, a lemon tree, an avocado tree, and flowers.
Okay.
So normally I don't even pay attention to how those things smell.
Yeah.
Man, when I had COVID and I went back into the backyard, because I would sit outside in the sun. I have this like chair.
Good, you're getting that vitamin D.
I would sit outside in the sun, and it's the only thing that made me feel better too. Like just like
Yeah.
I was a little worried that I was gonna get burned, but I'm like, I don't care. I would just sit out there in the
Should
sun.
have gone like butt naked and just stay, like,
yeah. No, there's high buildings.
Oh,
The neighbors, they'd be like, "Yo, what's up? COVID,
vitamin D.
yeah." But everything smelled awful. Like the flower smelled gross. Like my lemon tree, my orange tree, everything smelled disgusting. And then when I was so the other thing that happened too, that I developed in the middle of all that, is my throat was, I mean, it's the most sore that it's ever been. It was like my tonsils.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
So they were like really swollen, probably.
Dude, it was awful. And so during the first 2 weeks, I didn't go to the doctors. I didn't go anywhere. In fact, the only reason that I ended up going to the hospital at all is because after those initial like really hardcore symptoms, after they passed,
Yeah.
I was still carrying over like weakness, a fever, and a high heart rate. So that's really what prompted me to go in, because I was talking, this whole time I'm talking to my wife, like, and I just had like, I didn't, my head wasn't clear. Like I couldn't think clearly. I was very foggy. But after that passed even a little bit, where I could think a little bit better and I could drive again and all this stuff, I was talking to my wife, and she's like, yeah, you should go in. So I ended up going to the doctors September 6th, and they admitted me over at Long Beach Memorial. They took a picture, they took an x-ray of my chest, and my entire, like, all my lungs were like, they looked destroyed. There was like, it's weird, like it looked like a painting where you just throw paint like this on the canvas and it's just all like splashed. That's what it looked like. And so the doctor said I had COVID pneumonia. That's what he called it.
COVID pneumonia.
Yeah, and the doctor said it's really, your lungs are really bad. Like they're really. But I was in a weird, like, I was in this weird limbo place where I wasn't bad enough to
get taken in.
Well, to get administered stuff, but
Yeah.
I was bad enough that, like, that I was like not in a good spot. I went in that night, but I didn't stay over that night because they wanted to transfer me to a hospital in LA, and I didn't want to go. Like I was just like,
I'm kind of glad you didn't.
well, I didn't want to go because my car was already there and I had driven myself, and then I was just feeling really weird. So I told the doctor, I'm like, I don't want to be transferred. So he's like, yeah, it's your choice. I said, yeah, I'll just go back home. And they had given me like a steroid and some oxygen, and it actually did make me feel better. And that's the other weird part. Like I had like 2.5 weeks of feeling really bad. And then the next 2 weeks, because I had this ordeal for a month, or a little bit over a month, but the next 2 weeks, I would go up and down in how I was feeling. Like, I couldn't talk without coughing, but my cough was dry.
Yeah, I remember, like, I had called you, and we just talked very briefly, and you were telling me that you couldn't really talk that much, so
Yeah.
we were just doing pure texting by then.
And that's the other weird thing, too, is, like, I couldn't watch TV, and I couldn't look at stuff on my phone. Like,
It was hard for you to focus.
I not only could I not focus, but there was like this I was disconnected in such a weird way from my emotions, and like I kind of, for 2 weeks, I just sat with my thoughts. I would just sit in the room and I would just, all day long, I'd just be thinking things like, it was very strange. Like, and I was getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and I didn't even realize that. Like, because I wasn't moving.
Right.
So, like, my gums got really bad.
Yeah,
like,
you were telling me about that.
yeah. I mean, like, because I wasn't remembering to brush my teeth and all this other stuff. Like, it was crazy. So then I leave on the 6th, and then I'm not getting much better. I think another week and a half passes before my wife and I talk about it again, and she encourages me. She's like, I think you should go back in. I think it's like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And I said, okay. So I went back to Long Beach again.
Mm-hmm.
At the time when I first got to Long Beach, the first time when they took the...
So this is a week afterwards?
Like 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah, when they first did the chest x-ray, they had taken they did a COVID test, and I was positive at that time.
Okay.
So, I was positive from the 28th to the 6th or whatever. I still had it. And then when I went back in again, they did another test, and the hospitals do the rapid test, and I was cleared. I was out of it. I didn't have it anymore.
Yeah. So that's a good thing, like being conscious that, all right, cool. I'm out of that now.
Yeah, I'm out of that, but I still have something else going on.
Exactly, yeah.
So the reason I had gone back in is because I have an Apple Watch, and it kept telling me that when I was just laying down, like every 10 minutes, my watch was taking, for 10 minutes, it would check my heart.
Right.
And then after 10 minutes, it would go, it would give me an alert. And the alert is like, something's wrong. You might want to contact your doctor. And then I would check it, and it'd be like, because my heartbeat was going at 120 beats per minute.
And you weren't going, like, were you calm, or were you going
I was so calm.
And so you didn't have any anxiety or anything like that?
Nothing. I was like, literally, I was just laying down in my bed doing nothing, and it would chirp and tell me that. And then my fevers just kept going up and down. And my sister had bought me I think it's called an oximeter, and basically you put it on your finger, and it takes your heart rate and your oxygen.
Yeah.
So my oxygen was at like 84. And
what's the norm?
Well, you're supposed to be at 94 or above. 96 is ideal. If you're like 96 or above, you're doing good. You have it on your watch, actually. You have you have it on there, so it tells you.
I haven't done it.
But
I'll do it later.
Yeah, so that was low, and when it gets to a certain point, you're also supposed to immediately go to the hospital when that's happening. So
when it gets to a certain point, low.
Yeah,
like too low.
Dude, it's crazy.
Can you go too high?
No, I don't think. I mean, not without help, like without assistance, like yeah.
Maybe start flying.
But I looked at my statistics for the entire month of October. You
gotta show me that. You told me you were gonna show me how that looked. I gotta see that,
dude. It's crazy because my wife and I, we were looking at it. So my phone and my watch they can measure my walk.
Right.
It measures my sleep. It measures my my breath. How many breaths I take in my heart rate. Everything went down to such a bad level that all my stats were like go to the hospital. Like my walking, I was
That's scary.
It was like critical, like if basically it measures like if you can't walk right, you might fall, and if you fall, you hit your head, and something bad. So it was crazy, like looking at all that stats, and then even just this past week being at work, all the walking that we have to do, like they were doing, all my stats have gone like boom, they shot up to like you're back to normal on this.
You're a superhero now.
Yeah, it's nuts. But
how awesome is that technology now, man? Because
it's incredible, and it's not like perfect. I'm sure, but,
exactly.
But it gives you enough to like help you understand
that warning. Yeah, too. Because that's something that happened to me. Like when I was getting those things, I quickly put my watch on.
Yeah.
Wait, did I have the watch on? No. I'm sorry. I don't know if I had the watch during that time. But it was afterwards. Remember I told you I had got it was the freaking caffeine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
So I put the watch to check, and I was like, "Oh, dude, my heart rate is really up. I don't know what's going on."
Yeah.
But it's so cool to be able to see that,
to be able to get a understanding.
Yeah.
So I go back to the hospital. I clear the test. They admit me in, and it's I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. No, it was Thursday. It was Thursday. They admit me. They do a second chest X-ray, and my lungs look great. My lungs look excellent. Yeah, the doctor had the comparison from the first time, so he's like,
That's what I was gonna ask you too. Like,
Yeah.
did you see like comparison?
Yeah, and they were clear, and he's like, yeah, your lungs look great. They ended up giving me 2 shots per day in my stomach of blood thinners. Yeah, to make sure that I wouldn't get any blood clots. Because I guess something that's been happening with a lot of people that have gotten COVID is one of the things that takes people out are blood clots. So they'll develop blood clots, and then the blood, if it gets to your brain or your heart, it'll cause a stroke or an aneurysm, and you die. So they immediately started giving me that. They had me on constant IV all the time, so I was getting super hydrated. They gave me oxygen.
And by this time, you already had lost a lot of weight, right?
Yeah, because I hadn't eaten. I was just. But I lost a lot of muscle, and I lost like a lot of.
How much did you weigh? Because I know you had already lost some weight because you were working out.
I was when I went on the trip to drop my daughter off. I was weighing 225.
Yeah, you were 25.
When I got out of the hospital, I was weighing like 208.
208. Oh, dude, and
like
that's
that.
a drastic. That's a drastic drop, like within a month.
Yeah,
or
it's
so.
pretty big. Yeah, right now I'm 222.
Oh, you came back.
Yeah, right now I'm 222. My wife's like, you're feeling. Yeah, everything's filling back up. Like my legs and my arms and everything. My son got a bench press.
Yeah.
Like the one that you're supposed to get. You haven't gotten it, right? Did you ever get your bench press?
My bench?
Yeah, your bench. The folds. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I walked around, didn't even notice it. There it is. But my son got one, and I found some weights that I had in the garage, 225-pound plates.
Yeah.
So we were benching the other day. So I'm slowly, working out and getting that back up.
Good.
But yeah, I was in the hospital for 4 days. They ran every test that they could run. I told you about that, and they literally didn't find anything. The one thing that happened too, the other reason that I went in is because I had developed this crazy skin rash all up and down my body, and their blood vessels were popping. So I had blood vessels that had burst here and blood vessels that had burst on my chest.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So those are like similar like to blood clots if they're bursting, right?
No, it's a little different. It's not a blood clot. It's but I think it could lead to that. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not. Likewise.
But and initially that was.
By the way, we're not doctors.
Well, we just place them on TV. Yeah. But that was the other reason that my wife would say you should go in, because I had developed that skin rash, and so anyway, when I was in the hospital, they gave me stuff for all that, and they ran all these tests, and I told the doctor, I said, I don't have COVID anymore, but my body's still trying to fight something off. So I'm wondering if it's a skin rash, and that my body's like reacting to that and trying to stop it. And he goes, I don't know, but literally they never really found out what the problem was. But I did talk to my doctor like last week, and we were talking about my tonsils, and and I told him what had happened to me at the beginning, all this stuff. And they ended up giving me antibiotic, and he ended up giving me the lowest level antibiotic that they had, because he didn't want to destroy my gut bacteria. Right, is what he told me, and I'm like, I agree. I don't want that either.
Exactly.
And so the conclusion that we've come to is probably there was I had a bacterial infection that was living in my tonsils, because I still have my tonsils. Like they never got removed. Like most people have them.
I don't know why they get them removed, man. A lot of it is like it's a lack of iodine that actually helps you out with your tonsils.
I knew a couple people that had theirs taken out because it was life threatening. But for the most part, most kids that I know, like my wife still has hers, I think, and everybody still has theirs.
It's a deficiency. Like when someone's lacking some sort of mineral or vitamin deficiency and it starts acting up, the doctors always want to remove it. It's a quick buck or whatever. But
is your heart bothering you? Let's take it away.
But if you look it up and you find something that's gonna help out your tonsils, I had an issue with it a few years ago, and about these iodine things, and within a couple of days, it went
Boom,
away.
gone. So we think that's where the bacteria was hiding, and my body was fighting it, but my body was fighting it to such a high level of like because I had COVID that
Right.
it was like, and usually the way the body, the reaction that your body has is you'll have a high heart rate, and you have a high fever,
Right.
because it's like, you know,
It's trying to kill it,
trying
yeah.
to destroy everything. So anyway, yeah, I took 7 days of antibiotics, and then I started eating more, and like this whole time I was like juicing. Anyway, so I was able to eat more solid food, but so then after all that, like to me actually the craziest part of all this is what happened to me after, like when I got home, how every single week, like literally on Mondays, almost every Monday, something would change dramatically, and my brain would like acknowledge it. Like the first week I got home, I couldn't stay awake, like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the
Oh
afternoon.
yeah, you told me that you would you would get sleepy and you would
Dude,
knock out
I
for
had
a
to
couple
pass
of
out.
hours.
I had to pass out. I had no choice. It was like if I'd been driving around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I would have had to have pulled over and just slept in the car. It was that bad. Like it was like narcolepsy.
Yeah,
You know, it was
your
weird.
body's trying to like regenerate or something.
Something,
It's
dude. It was crazy. So and then because I was having these weird things afterwards, like they talk about like a long haul COVID people, like people that have something for 6 months or a year. So I'm like, is that where I'm gonna be? Like, so that first week, like that happens, but the other weird thing too is like I was detached from my feelings.
Yeah.
Like I could look at my daughter or look at my wife, and I knew that I loved them, but I didn't feel that I loved them.
Right,
I didn't
right.
feel anything. Like I couldn't feel like I wasn't feeling any joy or any sadness. I wasn't feeling. I was just like, just like white noise in my feelings.
Like
It
if
was,
we were like in limbo.
yeah,
Limbo, not limbo.
super
limbo.
weird.
Yeah.
Like, so that first week is that, but I can't connect to my feelings at all. And then the second week, my wife and I stay up late watching something, and I made a mental note. I'm like, whoa, we're up pretty late, and I don't, because that's the other thing. Even though I would take a nap at like 3 or 4, that meant nothing. By the time like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock rolled around, I had to go to bed. So it didn't matter that I took a nap in the daytime.
Right. Your body's just needing,
it didn't even
it needed rest.
yeah, it just was like, nah, you're going to bed. And
Yeah.
so we ended up staying up late watching something.
And I'm glad that you're listening to your body, because a lot
I
of
had
people
no choice. Dude. I
No,
had
well,
choice.
no. Here's the thing: is a lot of people sometimes don't, and that's the reason why they end up getting really, really sick or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten situations where I'll come home and then I'm like, I'm really tired. I'm gonna knock out.
Yeah.
And I'll knock out because
Yeah.
I know my body's asking for it. But if I wanted to, I could
You
force
could you
myself.
could push through. Yeah.
But that's not.
No, I didn't want to push through.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So I'm glad you're listening to your body. That's what a lot of people should be doing.
Yeah. So I would go to sleep at regular time, but then, like I said, we stayed up late one night, and that was like I marked it in my brain like something's different, and then again, like Monday comes and boom, all of a sudden I don't have to sleep anymore like I did, and then I just kept having these weird little like milestones. The other thing too, I told myself I'm not going to try to work out or do anything for a month, for like the first month,
Right.
because I had people reach out to me.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, and they're just like, take it easy, and I was like, yeah. And
Well, I mean, you scared me with that one story you told me, so I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna exercise.
yeah, I'm just gonna take it super easy. But I had the same thing that you did. How you said you felt like something in your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first 2 weeks, I felt something in my chest. I wasn't worried. Like I didn't get anxiety and thought.
Yeah.
I wasn't like I'm gonna have a heart attack. But I would feel something in my chest. I'm like, huh, that's interesting.
No, but it wasn't like in my heart. It was like if there was something stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah.
And it was weird. And I would go.
Yeah.
I would do that, and then it would feel like it's unstuck.
Right.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah. I'm turning to sea moss, baby.
And so then, like one of the weeks, I reconnected with how I was feeling, and then all of a sudden, like, and it was kind of like a bad time to reconnect with my feelings, almost in a weird way, because it was the week that I found out that my friend had died, and like I felt overly emotional.
Yeah.
I just started crying like maybe more than I normally would. Because here's the other thing: my buddy Julian Bonget, who passed away. I've known him since we were in junior high, and junior high and high school. But at some point, we just disconnected. And I'm actually close to his family. Like his big brother is one of my best friends. I feel I consider him my brother, and so it's just weird. Like we disconnected and we drifted apart, and but at the same time, I was
There's
like,
still a connection there from a long time ago. Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's my first friend that I really make in junior high, and then he's the doorway that leads me into these other lifelong friendships that I'm gonna, that like they're my brothers, like
Right.
I'm gonna have them forever. But it was so weird to hear my buddy, who is almost a year younger than me, that he passed away, and I was like, my brain just couldn't even process it. Like, how does that happen? So I just like, it was crazy. So that's how I pretty much knew. Okay, I feel like I feel again.
You got your feelings back.
Yeah, and then so fast forward to
I was gonna say the Tin Man got his heart back.
that's right. Fast forward to last week, because I told myself I'm not going to work out for a month.
Wait, last week?
Yeah. I told myself I'm not going to work out for a month, which is basically all of October. I really loved being back at work, because of all the walking and going up and down stairs and everything.
Yeah.
It's really helped me understand where I'm at physically. So like every single day that when I've gotten home, my legs are sore, my calves are sore, like my legs are sore from going up and down, climbing up and down stairs. Like it's crazy. And
You've been going to the restroom a lot. Huh?
no, I just
No.
avoid security.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, so like going up and down the stairs, over by the hotel.
Yeah.
And going to breaks, and
Right.
then when we're on the other side, I don't want to deal with security. So if I take my lunch bag and come back through, I have proxy. I found out that side door. So I'd rather take the long way and just not even not even deal with it. But that's been really good to that side wooden door.
Yeah, but I'm trying to see what. Oh, were you parking at Simba lot?
No, I'm parking over here. But so I'm parking over where we were, behind.
So how are you getting to? Oh, you will go all around?
No. I'm talking about later when our shift, when you head out and I'm over at see you don't know my routine. So
Yeah, I don't know your routine.
So I bring my lunch and my dinner.
Yeah.
Because both of them fall. So when I go have my dinner, I take my bag over to the bungalow.
No, but when you first drive into work, where are you coming in from?
Oh, I come in through the hotel side.
Which hotel?
Yeah, the Disneyland hotel.
So you're getting your things checked?
No, because if you go around the security, you know how security is over next to the temple? You know that security?
Yeah.
Okay. If you walk around, you can walk straight into the Disneyland hotel without ever going to any security. And I just go downstairs and drop off my bag in my lunch. I drop it off in the.
That bag. Oh,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
Eventually, I do have to go through security, but by the time that I go through, I don't have anything with me because I drop both of my bags off over there.
oh, okay. So you never bring your bags to the other locker room.
Nah.
You just leave them there, and then you pick them up there
Yeah.
before you leave.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. See, I was thinking you were going to the Grand California Hotel, and you know that one.
No.
And that's what I had in my
That's a
head.
walk, baby.
So I'm like, you're doing all of that. So I'm like,
Get my steps in.
Exactly. That's what I thought you were doing. I'm like,
No.
oh, okay, that makes so much sense now. Yeah.
No, but I'll drop my bags off over there.
Yeah.
And then when I take my lunch, I'll walk over to Bob.
And that's perfect too, because if you have to clock in, you could just clock in right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So I love it. And again, I'm using it as a measuring stick. Like, how do I feel physically, and what can I do? And
Yeah.
it's been really good, especially going up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
Like that's been very helpful.
Before I forget, this is something, man, that I'm so glad you did change your habits that you had like to a healthier, because I'm not sure I'm pretty sure you do remember when this whole thing started happening, like the whole case of I remember we were having this conversation and you were telling me like, cause at that time you weren't really working out. You started eating a little bit better and stuff, but you weren't working out at all. And you were like, this is what's going to take me. This is what, and honestly, man, if you weren't working out, man, it might have been possible.
It might have been.
I'm so glad that you did that change, because man, when I saw you when we went to those hikes with Amber and stuff like that, and I saw that, I'm like, dude,
I think about that all the time, because I ended up losing 70 pounds,
and I kept on telling you, man, like, you're gonna do it, man, you're gonna do it, you gotta push yourself.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I mean, I thought.
I remember also like when you were like, I'm only gonna do a mile. That's it.
I ended up. I fell in love with five miles.
You get hooked, man.
Yeah, I fell in love with 5 miles. Five miles ended up being, and what we're talking about is my running, but 5 miles ended up being, like the right amount for me of running, because from my house all the way through Bellflower, there's like a running path. I'd go to all the way to Bellflower Boulevard, and then I would turn around and come back, and that would be exactly 5 miles, and it was like perfect, and it'd take me about an hour. But I feel like losing 70 pounds and adding running 5 miles 3 days a week, making my lungs strong, and making my heart strong, I think really, really helped in getting me through this situation. Yeah. And again, who knows?
Who knows?
For sure. Well, who knows too? Like if the bacterial infection had been caught in time, like if we had fought that, maybe I would have cleared it up faster.
Maybe, yeah.
Because one thing that kept happening too is Kenny and I got called back to work, and Kenny was able to go back right away. I kept having to push it.
Yeah.
And
then you got fired.
I got like an email, congratulations, welcome back to the Disney family, and then I kept pushing it. I ended up missing my onboarding, which I didn't even know that I had missed it, because like there's miscommunication with that team over there.
Right.
So I got an email saying, well, sorry, we're gonna have to let you go. And I'm like, okay. So then I texted our boss and said, hey, it looks like I'm not joining you guys anymore. And she was like, don't listen to that. And then I got another email, welcome back. So I was like,
so hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to roll with it as it is. But yeah, like, this whole thing has been crazy. And obviously, we live in California. So wherever you are listening to this, whether you're in another country or you're in another part of this country, things are crazy in California. Things are weird. It's weird being back at work. And I hope this isn't offensive to anybody, because I'm not trying to offend anybody, but
you're already offending me.
But I got to tell you, like, it's completely useless to wear masks.
Oh, 100%.
There's no point. Like at work, like it's the most ridiculous. Like we put our masks on and we walk all around, and then we go sit down to eat somewhere, whether it's indoors, and take your mask off to eat. And then during that period of time, you're like,
you're safe.
Yeah, and it's 30 minutes.
It can't get you.
It
can't get you when you're eating. It can't get you.
It doesn't make any sense at all. And I mean, and there's no more social distancing. That's gone. That doesn't even exist anymore at the resort. Like they're not enforcing it. So it's just this whole thing is like, in our opinion, because Kenny and I feel the same way about it. It's just unnecessary. This thing is, unfortunately and fortunately, it's going to burn through all society. It's just that's what it's going to do. It's everybody has to get it. Everybody has to go through it, and then after that, we move on, because they're. I mean, again, I hope I'm not offending anybody. I don't mean to be
just
controversial.
Move forward, huh?
It just is what it is, man. And I, especially at the beginning, I was cautiously afraid. At the beginning, I was cautiously nervous, because I wasn't thinking about myself. I was thinking, like, I don't want my kids to get it. I don't want my wife to get it. Like, I don't want my family to get it. And so, when we took our trip, we were safe. Like, we were safe the whole way through. So to get back and for me to have it and then to give it to my family and then to see how my family dealt with it, like from the babies. And when I mean babies, I have a 1-year-old, I have a 6-year-old, and I have a 9-year-old. To see how they dealt with it to, on up, like I don't feel like our family was lucky. I just feel like it would, like our family is in the appropriate range of how they handled it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't ever feel like anybody. I don't feel like
Well, I mean, it's in the percentage what they say, like,
correct. Yeah, it was very, in my opinion, very scientific in how they handled it
Yeah.
because that's what the science says.
exactly.
Is
But
going
yet
on.
they still want to inject them.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's lucky at all. And in fact, even with my situation,
Yeah.
where I don't know, maybe people would think that I would have my opinion would have changed, and because of the ordeal that I went through, I told my wife this, and I've told a couple of you guys this. I never worried about dying at all until the doctor came in the second day, and I was looking at his face, and I thought he was going to tell me I had something else. I never worried about dying from COVID. What I thought he was going to say is, we found the issue of why you're like this, like a secondary thing, and you got cancer, or you've got,
Right.
So then I was like, that's what's going to get me, is this other secondary thing,
Right.
not the primary thing that I dealt with for
Right.
2 weeks. And so I was very surprised to have the doctor say, we can't figure it out. So it's just like throwing a dart like
Right.
on the wall, and
That's scary when you don't have you have no idea.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, okay.
And
So-
that's sad, and that's when you really have to rely on and like a lot of people might not like this, but being like an herbalist, like eating healthy, eating better, because that's ultimately what's gonna help you out a lot.
I couldn't agree more. Like I mean, during this period of time, I took my vitamins. I'm still taking vitamins. I was eating
Right.
like the best that I could eat, and I also believe that all of that helped me get through
Right.
it as well, because at the end of the day, what ended up happening with me is the only real medicine that I got was the antibiotic. That's it. Like, I didn't end up getting any therapeutic,
Right.
like the typical therapeutics that exist out there that could help with all this stuff.
Yeah.
None of that was offered to me.
Right.
None of that was taken. IV is not a therapeutic. IV is hydration.
Right.
So I just got super hydrated, which I thought really helped a lot.
Yeah.
Because I know that I was dehydrated before I went in.
Yeah.
So that helped a ton. So again, my position has not changed. My position on what this thing is, I don't think it was an accident that I got through it, because I hate to sound arrogant, but I feel like I was pretty healthy when I got it.
Yeah.
Because I was
You were
doing,
working out, you were
Yeah,
exercising,
yeah.
and you were eating
And-
a lot healthier
yeah.
than before.
and I was taking vitamins and all this stuff. So
I'm telling you, and that's what proves it a lot. Preventative. You gotta be
Yes.
preventative.
yes, yeah, I agree.
You
I-
are what you eat.
Yeah, I think one of the things that that they've, I mean, the CDC keeps changing its mind all the time, and they're they're garbage. But
Yeah.
but one of the things that keeps showing up all the time is when you don't know that you have some secondary problem, and I don't mean like what I had, which was a bacterial. I mean, when you don't know that you have a heart problem and it never got diagnosed,
Right.
or you have some like you have a cancer, or you have
Diabetes or
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah. A secondary illness.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you don't know, or you do know, you like you said, diabetes. You have diabetes. You have or you have asthma, or you have something like that. Those are the people that are for sure you're going to be more worried about them.
Right.
I was never worried about myself
Right.
because I knew that I wasn't carrying a secondary problem like that.
Exactly.
So again, I'm gonna say it a third time. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I just never worried about getting taken out at this point of
Right.
where I was. If it had been, January, of 2019 or whatever, I think I would have been worried because I was 270 pounds. I was
you were way up there.
yeah,
huh?
I was way up there. I had no workout, no nothing, very minimal, eating terribly, and
Those freaking nachos, man.
yeah, big time. Yeah, thank you, Tortilla Joe's. So that I would have felt really really nervous at that point. But like I said, once everything happened, I was.
They heard
so
you.
weird.
They heard it.
I was cautiously worried because I didn't understand what we were dealing with. As more data came out and we started seeing more things come out, I was less worried.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got into the groove and throughout all of this, I give props to my wife. My wife was very safe. Like made sure that we were all very safe. Made sure that we all
And she did get it, right? Yeah, you said
yeah,
the whole
yeah,
family
yeah,
got
yeah.
it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she only had it for a couple of days, or maybe, or
She had like, yeah, I think I don't want to misspeak for her. I want to say she probably carried it for like 4 or 5 days.
okay.
And then she had like 2 weeks of after effects of just feeling fatigued.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like,
Not
yeah,
bad.
but she got through it pretty quick, as well. So, and she was just, I mean, she was the rock star of our family of making sure that throughout the whole entire year that we were safe. And, she was always like, if we were going to go to the store, she made sure like to order stuff in advance or that we were going to be very safe. In fact, I was the dummy, like no joke, throughout the whole thing. So it totally was my fault. I 100%. I think by the time that I got it, I think I got it in Vegas. I don't think that was my fault at all. But it is what it is.
One of the slots.
No, I was actually on
Like,
our way back, coming to. We were getting gas before we did the last leg of our drive to get home. We stopped at an Arco and I got gas and I had to run in to use the restroom. And I think somewhere within
In that area.
that space,
Yeah.
I ended up getting it. So anyway, that was that's what happened to Kenny and I.
But I'm really glad I got it, to be honest with you, man. Like, thank you.
You're welcome, man. I love it. This is the last time that we'll talk about this. We're gonna go back to talking about all of our nerd geek stuff. In fact, in between that time, we can do a little bit of it here at the tail end of it because we both.
Thing, because of all that stuff, I stopped watching a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you went back to work. And, you were feeling exhausted when you were coming home from work.
Yeah, because I wasn't so used to. I wasn't used to
getting used to a schedule again.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? And that's what everybody was telling me. Yeah, that's how it was for everybody. But a lot of them went back like within a year. It was a year and a half. A little bit more for you now.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, but in that time we both saw Shang-Chi separately.
Yes.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Because to me, excellent movie. I actually saw online it getting dunked on later by people.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like
I don't get it.
I think people are just like so wanting to hate. Like I'm
There's
hearing
just so many haters nowadays that you just can't listen to all that. You gotta just go watch it and
make up your own mind.
Exactly.
And if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do like it, I would highly recommend Shang-Chi for anybody who hasn't watched it.
I'm just so glad. Like I remember having that conversation with you about what's his name, the man, what is his name? Mandarin.
Oh, the Mandarin. Yeah,
Mandarin. And I remember you're like, no, they're not gonna put him in. They're not gonna put him in. I'm like, no, they have to.
All right, yeah, we're gonna
make sense of him.
We're gonna do some spoilers here.
Yeah, they have to make some sense out of it because like people were so bummed out about it, and I was just expecting a little bit of it.
Not only was Kenny excited and happy to see the Mandarin, played by
I forget his name.
I forget his name too, but in the movie, his name's Trevor.
Yeah,
that's his name. And he showed up. He played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, and in Iron Man 3, you come to find out that it's all a farce, and he's just an actor.
He's just an actor, yeah.
And so anyway, there was a little Marvel short that was awesome where he's in prison.
Yeah,
and somebody who represents the real Mandarin, ends up showing up at the prison, kills the prison guards, and takes Trevor out of prison to actually go be executed by the real Mandarin. So fast forward many years later from that short, you see Trevor still alive, and he's basically like the clown for the Mandarin.
So again, I was expecting just a little bit. You know, that's all I needed.
He's part of the third
act, man.
Yeah, he's the whole third act.
Oh my gosh, man! So funny, funny, man.
So getting to the sombrero, how many sombreros do you give Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi, I don't do halves. I mean, I've done a halves, but
yeah, we've done halves before.
Okay, I'll probably go 4.5.
I'm gonna go 4. And there's only one reason I'm going to go 4. Part of the movie for me felt empty. And here's the part of the movie that felt empty, meaning like there wasn't a lot of people, and I kind of wish that they had more of a cast. When they get to the third act and they get to the magical village, that part felt like empty in that there wasn't a lot of people, and it wasn't as epic as it could have been.
Yeah, it seemed like they all lived like in maybe 3 huts or something like that.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
That. But that's my only critique. Otherwise, action, comedy,
oh my gosh,
story, background. I loved the way that they kept doing the flashbacks.
Yeah,
that it was one of my favorite things about the movie is how they flipped the flashback, and you kept seeing that you slowly kept seeing like how his mom died and what changed, and it was awesome.
What I want to know, what's his name again? The guy from Doctor Strange, Han? No.
Oh, Wong. That was awesome.
I am like, because I was trying to figure out how they're gonna, and they make it seem like they know each other, like they're.
Oh yeah, him and the Abomination are friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like he ends up giving the Abomination basically a magical ride back to wherever he grabbed him from. Yeah. And that Abomination.
So I want to know how they
that Abomination is the closest to the comic book version.
Right.
It looked awesome. I loved like that they fought, and then afterwards they were like, watch.
Right.
I told you got to watch my left. All that stuff. Yeah, like that was rad. It was cool to see Wong, and it was cool to see Wong twice because he shows up 2 times in the movie.
Yes, and also in the final
end credits.
Yeah.
Which that end credit scene got me super excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like I cannot wait for them to unfold where the rings come from.
Yeah, because they're trying to figure out what like.
Well, it just started sending a signal.
Yeah,
like the rings.
Now you know a little bit more about this. So where do they come from? Do you happen to know that?
I kind of here's what I know from way back in the day when I first was reading the comics is that they like crash landed in a meteor. Basically.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure that between that time and now, the rings have a different background because originally. The first time that I ever came across the rings, they were actual rings.
Yeah, they were finger rings. Yeah.
And the Mandarin was when I came across him. He's a villain of Iron Man. That's like one of his major villains. But when I came across him, he was fighting Wolverine from the X-Men. So basically, real quick, short. Mandarin ends up or this guy ends up capturing one of Wolverine's teammates, Psylocke, and turns her into an assassin. She works for the Mandarin. Wolverine comes back to get her and to kind of knock sense into her, like get her out of the brainwashing.
Right.
And in that process, he fights the Mandarin, and the Mandarin's rings are actual rings that he wears on his fingers, and each ring has a different ability. So I really love what they did in the movie because to translate the comic book version of the Mandarin's rings, it would be too much special effects, too much craziness. Because one ring is like flight, one ring's telepathy, one ring's telekinesis, one ring's fire, one, you know what I mean?
Right.
But instead, in the movie, the rings are more like just a kinetic power, like kinetic energy and power. And I love the way that they represent it. And also, I like the way that they go up the arms. Like it was just whoever came up with that idea to flip it was really good.
Well, it looks like it's very like that martial arts, the way they will fight. Like there's like the movie
Yes, yeah.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
the guy uses those rings and he puts them to block, it
Yeah.
just reminds me,
Yeah.
and so it really works. with
Yeah,
the-
they're like the rings in this have like really cool multi-functions
yeah,
because they can hit you, they can block things, they can form around you like when so it's really cool. Like it's defensive and offensive
right.
weapon, and he can use them to like blast off to like go to like launch himself.
Yeah.
So it's really cool the way they represented them here.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love the story like of the dad and the mom meeting and like
You know what I'm curious about those dragon scales? You know how they're using those dragon scales
Yeah.
for armor and stuff like that?
yeah.
What do you think is stronger? The scales or vibranium?
I would probably say vibranium ultimately.
so?
Yeah, I think vibranium because the dragon scales are like they only have one function. Their armor, but vibranium you can like you can shape into it like a blade. You can what I mean?
Well, I mean
And-
they intertwine the like their.
Oh,
their-
you know what? They had a dragon blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I still think vibranium wins.
You think so?
Yeah, I think vibranium wins.
I hope they test it out. Like,
That'd be cool if you saw it. Yeah, I mean, wait until they introduce Wolverine into the MCU because adamantium is going to be a whole nother ball game.
oh, I know.
I mean, he can cut through anything with those, so it's going to be really interesting how they represent
vibranium and that and
well,
and
just how they
their-
represent adamantium against anything.
Yeah.
Like, by the time that Wolverine is in the MCU for a little while, if they end up introducing any armored character, he's
Right.
just gonna rip right through them.
Right.
So it'll be fascinating to see. And I'm sure.
That's if Disney.
Well, no, Kevin Feige already he's already. Kevin Feige right now is in the planning stages of.
No, I'm saying like I mean slashing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, that's coming. Yeah, Disney will push through and figure out because they were able to do it in the original X-Men movies.
Yeah, but that wasn't Disney. at the
no,
moment.
but there's no reason that Disney, like people have already gotten accustomed to Wolverine in the regular
That's
Fox
true.
movies
That's
to,
true.
to like cutting people and stuff that like they're not going to shy away from that.
Hopefully not.
At all.
Hope not.
They're just not. Yeah, you're gonna see Wolverine.
Yeah.
Be Wolverine. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man. But yeah, I give it I give it 4 sombreros, but only because of that emptiness portion of it. But overall, like one of my favorite movies that tells you about a character, like an origin, like
Yeah.
an origin movie. I loved it.
Yeah, and I mean, I went and I saw it with my family when I went to Big Bear, and it's that little theater that they have like in that
Yeah.
in their town, and my sister didn't know what to expect, and she when we got out, she's like, I was not expecting it to love it, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
It's a good movie.
I'm not as excited about Eternals, me personally, but I do want to see it.
I'm like whatever. I just want to watch it.
Right,
and
right.
see. Like I'm not getting my hopes up or anything like that.
Yeah. I felt the same way about like Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Like
The one I'm all in, is the Spider-Man.
Yeah, baby.
That's the one I'm excited for.
There's a movie coming out. Oh, so
Dune.
So I know. Everybody's been either hating or loving that movie. Like there's no
I
in between.
haven't seen it.
Either people love it or they just absolutely hate it. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. But the movie that's coming out like in a few days. Wait, what's the date today? Today's the 2nd. I think I saw that it comes out on the 9th. Is Ghostbusters?
What?
Yeah, I think Ghostbusters comes out here. Let me double check that.
Yeah. Ghostbusters? No.
Yeah. Hold on.
What? Wait. Eternals comes out
On the 5th.
this Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, snaps. I'm going to want to go see that.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see.
Wait, it's Friday.
When it comes
Thursday,
out.
Oh, I got plans Friday. Damn it. Okay, I'll try to watch it this week.
Oh, wait. It says the 17th
The 17th of
of this month.
November.
So Ghostbusters. Yeah, I was going to say, like, they're gonna try to compete with Marvel. That's gonna be crazy. But I'm gonna tell you, I would go see Ghostbusters first. Me personally, if they came out on the same day, I would go see Ghostbusters, and I would wait on Eternals until I got word from you. But dude, you've missed so much. You've missed all What If.
I know.
missed-
I'm only in episode 3 on that, and I just haven't.
It's so crazy. Let me see. What have I seen? I finished Ted Lasso season 2 in the time that you haven't watched What If. We finished What If. My wife and I right now are watching a show called Foundation, which is, it is excellent. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, Apple has gone all in on spending money. All of their
They
shows,
have money.
dude. But they're like not stingy with it because all of their shows look hell expensive, man. It's crazy. Especially Foundation is a science fiction show based on Isaac Asimov's books. Holy smokes, dude!
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's epic. Epic is the only way to. Yeah, like when you.
What is it called again?
It's called Foundation.
Foundation,
dude.
What is it about?
I'll break it down for you real quick. The show is kind of jumping a little bit back and forth. Right now, the way the show's jumping is jumping to 35 years before and 35 years after. But basically, humanity has taken over the entire galaxy. Like, not just,
Humanity has taken over
the entire galaxy. There's multiple worlds that we have.
So you become a plague. Okay.
Yeah, basically. The way that the governmental system is set up is you don't get to see any of this, but they talk about it. At some point in time, humanity went into like a real dark place, and there was wars, and we created like robots, like not cyborgs, but like robots with skin, you know, like. And at one point there was
like Ex Machina.
Kind of like that. And at one point there was like a giant war between us and them
and the robots.
And the robots. We don't get to see any of that, but they hint and explain a little bit of it. But by the time you get to the story that we're in right now, somebody, the guy who was the leader at the time, came up with this system where he saved humanity. So what he did is the technology that they had, he cloned himself, and he clones himself in 3 stages. So he clones himself, like he allows himself to become an old man, and then there's a middle version of him, like a young, strong version of him, and then there's a young version of him. And the system that they have is, as a young one grows up, the young one takes over the middle spot, and they not hatch, but they, how do I explain this? They,
and are they repeating it?
They're repeating it for 400 years. And there's like a chamber that's like a test tube baby. So whenever the young one goes up to the middle one's age, then they have the baby is allowed to finish being born. Up until then, it's like in a test tube thing, and then the old one gets destroyed, basically. Like he goes through this process.
He doesn't die of natural causes. He has to get destroyed.
Yeah, like he doesn't die. Yeah, they don't let him die of natural causes because they don't let him get to the point where he becomes feeble in his mind and unstable. So this process it goes on for 400 years.
But they're not being conscious. Like they're getting, like, each person has their own like feelings and thoughts and stuff like that, or are they getting embedded with all the knowledge that they?
Yes.
That
so that's something you don't find out until later.
Oh, that's crazy.
So one of them happens to die. There's backups.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, there's backups of them in these chambers in like water.
So they're like backup drives, like backup drives.
It's nuts. And
so this is the way they beat the robots by doing this process.
No, this is after humanity has like gone through that issue.
Oh, okay.
The person that helps to rebuild humanity.
And so that was like their medieval ages for them.
Yeah, like it's this one guy. His name is Cleon. Is the name of the guy. And so because Cleon gets him out of it, they make him the ruler of humanity, and because he becomes the ruler of humanity, this is the process that they go through, and it's constant. So the three of them, there's brother Don, brother, like each one of them call themselves like basically morning, afternoon, and nighttime. The older one is the night, and the older one is going towards the darkness, and then there's the midday, and what was I going to say?
This is just that one person that's been cloned.
It's the one person that's been cloned, but there's always three of him.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
That's what I'm saying. And that's the morning, afternoon, night.
Yeah, and the other two, the older ones, are always instructing the younger one.
The older ones.
Yeah, to get him ready to rule. And all three of them are called Empire. So all three of them together are known as Empire. So anytime somebody approaches them,
Now, is he the only one doing that, or is this other
he's the only one.
He's the only
yeah,
one.
he literally rules the entire galaxy that they're over. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. So when you get introduced to all this, there ends up being a problem, and the problem is this human, this guy named Harry. I can't remember his last name, but he is a mathematician. But he's such a high level mathematician that he has discovered this math method of taking all of the data from large groups. He can't do it with an individual. He can't look at you and then figure out what your future is going to be. But he can take the data from large groups and look at trends and look at and he can predict what's going to happen.
So he's doing like an algorithm.
Like an algorithm, but instead of a computer doing it, he's doing it himself. He's figuring it out. And he and through all his calculations, he figures out that the empire that we're currently in, that we're watching, is going to go down hard, and it might be in darkness for like some crazy amount of time. Like I can't remember if he said 50,000 years or more, but basically everything's going to fall apart. And when you see the show again, the money that they spend on the show is crazy, because you see the high level of like everything.
Where are the sets? Like where are they at? Like where are the locations?
I couldn't even tell you. They're gorgeous, but I couldn't tell you.
But are they like city like city?
Yeah, like
but they don't show you like they're in this planet or they're in
this. Yeah, they go. But you wouldn't know any of the planets because they've expanded so far out in the galaxy that they're not
astronomy books.
that they're not like going to Mars. They're way past that. Like So they show you different environments, different planets. It's very clever the way that they do the whole thing.
I've noticed that Apple's like series have been more like very sci-fi-ish.
They have a few sci-fi, and then they have Ted Lasso, which is comedy. They also have like a drama one. They have a few different things. Okay. But I love the way too they have these things called jump ships. Oh, go ahead.
Do they have anything that's animated?
Yeah, they have a few animated.
Anything that's, because I haven't heard anything of their animation.
I haven't checked any of them out, but they do have animated stuff. But I think they're mostly for kid.
Oh,
like
kid.
Yeah, they're not like
adult
so, So I haven't really But they have these things called jump ships, which that's how they get around. They fold space,
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things that I've seen so far. So if you're about to travel on a jump ship, you get put in this like cocoon, like you lay down on a table, and then this thing wraps around you and puts you in suspended animation.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they have these people that like their necks are extra long, their limbs are extra long, and they have like these cybernetic things embedded into their bodies.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that are able to stay awake, and they're the only ones that can withstand what happens when you space travel.
Yeah.
Because it's too much for the human mind. Like you
can't comprehend it.
You can't. Not only can you comprehend it, I think what it looks like is you would go mad if you were to wake up in the middle of that. Like you would, it would be
shrooms, right?
Yeah. But it's so cool the way that like these people, like these that run the ships and help out with the people. It's cool the way they look and the way they talk and stuff. I don't know, like I said, the whole thing is like it's cash money, baby.
It's called Beyond, right?
Foundation.
Oh, Foundation.
Yeah, Foundation.
I want to say Beyond.
Yeah, it's really easy to find if you just type in Apple Foundation. You'll see like the show. It's great. And another thing that I love about their shows too is the opening for their shows. super high level art, like really beautiful. Whoever puts those together, like it's fantastic. But
That's cool.
this is the first season of Foundation, and I think we're up to episode 6. I
haven't watched it. I haven't watched anything.
I know, man. You got to get back on the ball.
I know.
But I still want you to watch Ted Lasso first. But if you want to do sci-fi, I think.
Well, I gotta catch up first with What If and what was the other ones we were like watching?
What else were we watching?
I-
And last thing I'll put out there is, man, I don't want to be disappointed. I hope that I'm not disappointed. I cannot wait for it to come out. There's one of my favorite all-time book series is this, let me back up. So one of my favorite book series is called The Wheel of Time.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Never Ending Story.
No, The Wheel of Time. And each book for The Wheel of Time is like this.
How many books are there?
14.
Each one?
Yeah. They're like...
You read them all?
I read them all. I started reading them when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
And yeah, it's... But such an awesome...
but the font is like crazy huge.
Yeah, it's really big. Yeah, it's like... No, the font is like extra tiny. It's crazy. Like, so this is a crazy story. The Wheel of Time, 14 books. I fell in love. I want to reread it again.
The Wheel of Time.
Yeah, I want to reread it again at some point in my life, but especially I want to reread it after I watch the show, when the show is finally done. I'd love to go back and I don't want to do it at the same time because
it's gonna mess you up. Yeah, it's gonna mess you up.
Yeah, and so I don't want to do that. But the author, Robert Jordan, he died before finishing the series.
It's gonna be another
But he had written enough notes for the final 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
He had written enough notes and enough information that another writer named Brandon Sanderson, like the wife of Robert Jordan, chose Brandon Sanderson specifically, her and the publishing group to finish it off.
Because I'm wondering if it's gonna be like the whole Game of Thrones things. You know how they were afraid that he was gonna die or whatever, and they were like rushing it.
Brandon Sanderson did an amazing job in finishing the last 2 books based on. I mean, I think he's being humble, to tell you the truth, because he came out and he said,
"So
I didn't really have to do much."
The 14 books that you read when you were a kid, those last 2 books was done by him.
And don't misunderstand me, I started them when I was a kid. I finished them when I was an adult.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was crazy. Yeah. But the last 2 books were written by Brandon Sanderson.
I just finished it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like, damn. But 30 years. No, it's crazy. But yeah, so The Wheel of Time is coming out as an Amazon TV show. It comes out November 19th, and the visuals look incredible. In fact, can you turn on your TV real quick?
Yeah.
Wait, well, I want to get your reaction. Go over to YouTube.
What I do? I haven't used my TV in 3 months, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't used it. I haven't troubleshoot.
Yeah, go to. Yeah, there we go. It's connecting. Sorry, folks.
It's because I haven't used it.
Kenny's TV has to reconnect to the Wi-Fi router because Kenny hasn't used it. There you go. All right. I think you should be fine now. Míralo. Universal Guide. But yeah, I definitely want to get your reaction before we end this. But you got to go over to YouTube's.
Yeah. Exit this.
There you go. So
I'll do this, and it says called
The Wheel of Time.
The Wheel of Time.
Yeah. So anyway, visually, this looks to me, whoever put this together is really trying hard to get the spirit of the books and to showcase that. They did change some things around, like the ethnicity of the people, but it doesn't bother me at all because it looks like they got the right. Oh no, you got to go back out, man.
I know. I meant to hit space and I hit search.
Space. All right, just put wheel. Just the and then put wheel.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it. The wheels on the bus. There it is. The Wheel of Time trailer. You see it?
Yeah.
Right there. Go down. There you go. Hit it. There you go. Hit that. So, yeah. All right. Let's just watch it.
This is it?
This is it. I love, too, the way that they represent the powers on here.
The Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah,
very colorful.
There's no way you would have heard of it because, up until this point, it's just been a book series. And the book series, while it is a best-selling book series, it's you'd have to really be into books to know.
I like books, but
I know you
but
like
not
books.
not.
I know. Not 14 books that are that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she is. That's Nenave. Yeah. Yeah, I
where
love.
you've been all my life.
I love this visual too. I love the bad guys. The way they represent the creatures in this too, it is pretty rad.
Oh, I see bow and arrows, man.
Yeah,
you
that's
know
right,
me.
baby. Like I said, I really think that like the money that
And this is
Amazon,
Apple as well.
No, this is Amazon.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Right
So
there,
so the money that they poured into this is like super impressive to me. I cannot wait.
that looked like War of whatever,
Yeah.
but better.
Yeah, way better. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
War of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So white ass suit.
Whitest baby.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, man, I think this is gonna be fire. I cannot wait. I'm excited. I want you to get into it because I want to see what your reaction is to all the characters.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's so great, man.
It almost reminds me a little bit of The Witcher.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it, but yeah.
Just with like all the fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Like the wheel.
I'll
of
give you
time.
a tiny little breakdown of this here once it ends. This is rad too when they show the I think it's called a Trolloc. Oh no, they didn't even show him. Oh. And anyway, one of my favorite like things about this series is the way the powers work. So I'm not gonna say that it's not like a Jedi because it kind of is. It's a similar system.
Yeah.
Where but in this world, basically like men and women, there were men and women that both had this thing called the one power that they were able to both men and women were able to touch and manipulate and use, and they could cast and make different things with them. Well, the male version, because there's a male version and a female version of the one power, the male version ends up getting tainted. It ends up getting sick, basically like a cancer, and so then only the female one works. So now in this world, whenever a man is born after a certain age, when they hit a certain age, like a puberty type deal,
Yeah.
they connect to the one power. But once they connect to the one power, they start going crazy. And they start going mad, and because they have these abilities,
Yeah.
if they don't know how to control them, and it doesn't even matter if they learn how to control them, because eventually they're going to go crazy, and so the males always have to be killed.
Oh,
Always.
that's crazy.
And
At a certain age.
Yeah. Well, once they get found out, basically,
Yeah.
and so the females, they're called Aes Sedai. Like there's different names for different groups,
Yeah.
but the female Aes Sedai, they are like politicians and they're also protectors. So they're like female Jedi.
Yeah.
They help nations like with politics and with different one nation takes over another
Right.
nation, like they help broker deals and stuff, but they also hunt males and then bring them back to like I think it's called the White Tower.
Yeah.
And they execute them. And but there's a prophecy about a male that is coming called the One Dragon. And so that girl that you see right there, that woman that
she
you see
doesn't
right
want that to happen.
no, she is trying to make sure. So there's a prophecy that the One Dragon is going to be born. When the One Dragon is born, she wants to protect him at all costs because the One Dragon is supposed to get to the end of what his life is going to be, whatever age that might be, to fight like basically Satan, like the thing that first infected the one power,
yeah.
the male version of it. So all Aes Sedai they don't believe in that. They're like, anytime there's a male, they just hunt them down and kill them.
Oh, I
so
see.
they could potentially be killing the One Dragon,
Right.
which
and she's like one of the only ones, or whoever's around her circles.
like they have to protect because
Yeah.
she knows they need him
Right.
to get to the. Dude, the story is awesome.
It sounds really interesting.
It is again one of my favorite series that I've ever read, and it's really cool. I mean, because like the primary basis of it is like family and like what happened, like family, like your blood family plus the family that you have around
Right.
your friends and stuff, and all the characters are a ton of fun and all the stuff that happens and all the creatures and everything. And then there's like there's what they call false dragons. So there's guys that will be born that get old enough to be able to learn how to control the one power, and they believe that they're the prophecy, but
Right.
they're not. And yeah, so it's just cool to like see how all that plays out.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to spoil anything. It's just it's rad.
When
Like,
does that come out?
it comes out on the 19th of this month.
So much.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, did you end up seeing? I want to get your thoughts on it on Lightyear. Did you see the trailer for that?
Yes, that looks
Right.
crazy epic.
Right.
That looks like.
Doesn't it
like-
remind you of Star Wars?
Yeah, well, only that one part. But the
yeah.
whole thing looks like super serious, like really hardcore. Like, yeah, I was like, who's that movie for? It doesn't look like it's for little kids. It looks like it's for us,
Right.
Yeah,
It looks so good, man.
and somebody made a Woody. But with stills where somebody spent some time
Yeah.
and did beautiful artwork and made it like in the same style.
Yeah.
But they didn't do an animation. It was
Right.
stills.
It was just still.
But that looked epic too. I was like, I want to see that movie. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, that looked pretty epic.
I was watching some reactions to it, and this guy, and I kind of like his take on it. That if they do that, I mean, whatever they do, I think that movie's gonna do really, really well. But it would be so cool if that's like almost like towards the end, if that was an actual movie that Andy's watching, and that's what gets him into like, I need that, that figurine, like it pulls
Yeah.
out from the, and then you see him.
Well, even the suit, because they show you the suit at the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't look corny.
Yeah.
Like in Toy Story, it looks
Yeah,
corny
'cause it's a toy.
and it's fun. And in that, it looks like. Okay, I can see
yeah.
how they could be like a galaxy.
Right.
I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah. It looks pretty rad.
Yeah, so I really, I mean, I got goosebumps like that with the song, and
Yeah.
then them like shooting up, and then
Yeah.
he's blasting off. That just like,
Yeah,
that
it
was
loo-
like Star Wars when the
Yeah,
everything.
it looks
my
pretty
gosh,
rad.
man.
Yeah, it does. It really does look pretty epic. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people were like they don't want any more of like they don't want Pixar doing any more Toy Story stuff because they're like
Give me more.
they're like
If it's like that,
no, but what I'm saying
Give
is
me
like
more.
like when they did the fourth one, they're like no more, and when they heard
Right,
about it, and then
right.
they see it and they liked it. Okay,
Yeah.
it was good.
now I want to see a serious version of Lotso where he's an actual pink bear.
You saw the hot toy. You saw the hot toy. That's gonna be enough. That's the reason why there's a hot toy for it. That last toy, Lotso,
yeah.
that toy looked pretty.
Yeah,
cool, man.
it looks pretty legit. Yeah. No, I'm glad I'm glad I'm alive I'm glad that there's so much more to see.
Yeah.
I can't wait for California to go back to normal,
I
and
know,
then we're
man.
all like living the dream, baby.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping soon. Soon.
I know.
I'm hoping soon.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, we talked a little bit of everything. I
Yeah.
mean, I know the majority of it was, my sickness and us being sick, but we got in a little bit of a nerd time, guys. The next one is we're going back to our regular stuff. Kenny, I'm gonna force him to watch some stuff this week. We're gonna catch up.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
Because the thing is, I also I have projects that I need to work on
he's
too.
gonna watch something tomorrow. Because they're only 30 minutes. He's gonna watch one thing tomorrow. They're only 30 minutes. He's gonna get through it, folks.
I will.
But yeah, we'll get back into our regular stuff, and thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
Thank you for coming back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for sticking with us too.
Thank you for sticking with us, and we're back to our regular scheduled program. You're gonna hear from us every week, and we love you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Queremos mucho.
Take your vitamins.
Besos.
And drink your water.
Yes. Stay healthy, my friends.
Stay healthy, my friends. We'll talk to you later. Bye.